it live? Oh yeah.
Boom, we're live, my friend.
All right, it's live. Let's give me a second or give me a few seconds here, folks. Let me share the live. This is a live streaming right here. Just one second.
Is it live?
The live streaming. There you go. The live. There you go. And let's share.
We already got a. Oh, that's an old like. So while you're sharing, my friend, we'll just do a quick recap. So, welcome everybody. This is Imran Namawal of DLP, and we have the maestro of marketing, Yusuf Chowdhury, of online business owners. So we've been talking about web pages that convert, web pages that are effective. We've talked about SEO, what SEO means, on-page SEO, off-page SEO. We've talked about branding. We've talked about funnels. We've talked about taking your client, your user through a journey on the web page. So if you want all that information, you can watch the previous episodes and the previous interviews. Today, we're going to be talking about social media and how to utilize social media when it comes to web page building. So we're going to connect those two different realms in those two areas, which is web design and the benefits and use of social media, which we've already discussed to an extent in terms of digital real estate and using your website as digital real estate and blogging and putting things out on the web on social media, so that in terms of off-page SEO, it can all come back to your web page. So Yusuf, that's the topic at hand today. So when we're talking about small business owners and we're talking about web page design and we're talking about social media, what is the correlation between social media and web design?
Excellent question. The correlation is because your website design, this is your business. This is where you are going to bring all the customer to it. So, they can convert into a buyers for a product or a service, right? And you are utilizing the social media to basically promote your brand or build a brand awareness, okay? And also to attract those target audience from these channels, because your audience do exist these days on the social media platforms. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, let's start something from the basic. Let's start from the concept, from the basic, before jumping into the social media strategies, because this is very crucial, important information, because people don't understand that the whole concept of what is social media. Is this something new? Was it something there forever? Right? I mean, technically, I would say from the dawn of the internet, I think, yes, there was some different social platform, like if you remember the chat back in the Yahoo Messenger days.
Yeah, AOL Messenger.
AOL, and there were other some chat and Pal Tag or Pal's Talk. And so that medium of two-way communication been there for quite some time. What happened, it just got improved. It got more sophisticated. And at the same time, it basically invaded your privacy and your behavior, the way you think and you like and move. So now the marketers can definitely collect those information from you, right? So the first question, really, if we need to like right now, if you ask anybody, like an average person, what is social media? What do you think they're going to say? What do you think, Amran? What do you think the answer is going to be? What is social media?
It's media that's social.
It's a media that is social. I like that. It's a media that is social, right? It's true. Actually, yeah. Your answer has some truth into it, because the idea of social media, just from the word, social means socializing, and media, it's a platform. It's a medium, right? So it's basically, that's in a nutshell in terms of the concept, right? But if you define it technically, you can say it is a web-based platform. What I mean by that, like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, these are web-based. We can also say it's a mobile-based application, like Periscope, TikTok, Instagram. And as you mentioned, it's a way to basically, you can consider it like a communication tool, right? It's a communication tool. And because it's a communication tool, most of the small businesses, the mistake that they make when they use, let's say, Facebook business pages or the social media channels to build their brand, they quickly start promoting and not making a plan for a two-way communication. Because if the concept of social media is to socialize, that means there has to be, two-way communication. There has to be some sort of dialogue, and the dialogue has to be interactive, like in real time.
Give us a quick example. What do you mean? What does that mistake look like? So in terms of when they're self-promoting and they're not engaging in dialogue, how are some common ways you've seen people promote without engaging in dialogue?
What they basically do, let's say a small restaurant, for example, they open a Facebook page, and the first thing they put, coupons, buy this, get that, look at the menu. I'm like, yes, I understand you want the customer to come to you, but the behavior of most of the people in social channels is really to waste time. Okay, let's just be honest. It's to waste time, it's to complain, a lot of narcissism going on there, right? And self-fanatics and miserable people, basically. They just want to seek more attention, right? Some of them is good, especially if you use things strategically. Of course, it's going to help you. And social media can also be used for good causes, like, helping the religious institutions, the homeless. Yes, those sort of things. So it can be definitely used for good stuff, because at the end of the day, it's a tool, right? Remember back in the day when the radio came out, oh, it's an evil thing. When the TV came out, it's an evil thing. But it's just a tool, right? If you can take the tool and utilize it properly, of course, it will give you an enormous result, right? So this is the whole idea behind social. As I mentioned, is to connect friends and family. It can be, one of the advantages is that it can be spread out faster, like locally or globally. Because as you know, you as a marketing consultant, you know for a fact that word of mouth is still one of the strongest marketing technique out there. It's an oldest and it's still valuable, right? But within the digital, especially within the social media, we're talking about digital word of mouth, right? So it can spread and go faster. Does that make sense?
Yes. So go ahead.
I'm sorry. So that's how we define. Okay, first let's understand what is social media in the first place, so we can utilize it properly. If we understand how the platform works, if you understand how the audience are there behaving and what do they like and how do they interact, then we can have an idea how to utilize it, right? Now, this is in terms of what is a social media. Okay. Now, let's talk about why it's important. Just like you mentioned before, how the website is very important because that's your real estate, the internet, because we live in the internet world. We are actually connected, whether you like it or not, from our mobile devices to our purchasing habit. We are connected digitally everywhere. In fact, all of your audience right now should just go to Google and type your name and see your digital footprints, right? So if you look at the statistics, why social media important, let's look at, for example, the population. One second, got a client here.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about social media? So when we compare it and contrast it to the website, is that YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, these are free platforms. Obviously, they're getting something out of you in terms of use and data, but you can just utilize these platforms for free, which is like, it's amazing. A free tool, a free platform for a business to potentially use. I was actually kicking myself in the last week, because I was looking at YouTube and I saw that I had started posting videos in 2008 on YouTube.
Wow.
I know, and I had a series of videos. I had a couple thousand followers, and I just stopped. And I was just like, I was an early adopter. I should have kept on going, and I stopped. And it's just crazy to think, man, a free platform that back in 2008 was really cool, but now it's commonplace. It's a staple in every home. You go on a smart TV, YouTube is one of the apps that's pre-installed, right? Or I think it is. So go ahead. I'll let you continue.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, because see what you just proved here, you left a digital footprint.
Right.
That means your children and grandchildren are gonna want to see it. Look, right? I mean, this is very important, because you could never do that with traditional TV and whatnot. You know what I mean? But now you have a digital footprint, so anyone can trace you back, and they can see there's a history behind it, and you are an expert because your work, the proof of work, it's already there. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's one of the reasons it could be important. Now, another reason is that if you look at the statistics, let's just look at the population of humanity, right? We have close to like more than 7 billion people on this planet Earth, right? Then we have more than 5 billion of the 7 billion on mobile devices. 5 billion on mobile devices. That's still a lot. That's more than like 50%, right? Then you have 4.5 billion use the internet. Okay. then out of the 4.5 billion, 3 billion of them are active on social media through the apps, which is on the mobile devices. That's again more than 50%. So what does that mean? That means your audience, your customers already there.
Potential audience exists in a free environment.
Yes, this is so amazing. Exactly when you said it's a free environment, and it's so hilarious when I see some people like get mad, like why does Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram and Facebook charge for advertising? Why they're not letting us, use it 100% free? I'm like, dude, you're living under their house for free.
Yeah.
And now when they start to charge you, you're gonna get mad, right? No, it's actually like Facebook implemented. Of course, they're gonna make money. They have to make money because people don't understand that when you have like more than billion accounts, like on Facebook, do you know how much servers do you need to basically contain and manage that? I have a feeling that I need to visit for sure, inshallah, one day I need to visit the Facebook headquarters because I got a friend that works there, right? I want to see how their humongous, huge servers handle all these.
It's not only that, you're competing. I mean, if it was free, imagine how many people would want to put up an ad, and now you're competing for this limited real estate. But there's so many people who want to push their product on it, so of course they're going to charge you something. And in my opinion, the charges are not bad.
You're absolutely correct. In fact, you're absolutely 100% correct, Imran, because if you look at it from a positive perspective, actually the ad can help give you more benefits than the organic ways. Because today we're going to talk about the organic means, right? Because with the ad, and we're going to talk about that next week, it helps you on how to hone down, narrowify, if that's a word, narrowify, right, to your niche audience, and you can target specific zip codes and income and age group and whatnot. So this is actually super helpful for businesses.
Amazing mechanism.
Indeed, like for example, I was helping one of my clients. They had a seminar yesterday, but the ad was run for like almost 2 weeks, right? And there's no way organically you can generate more than like 160 or 150 leads.
Correct.
But you can do that with the ads.
Correct.
And so now we understood what is social media. We know the importance of it. Now the question is for a lot of businesses, okay, how can that help my business if I do things organically? Like what's the reason behind it? I would say the reason behind it is that it will help you to increase brand recognitions. It will help you to basically improve your brand loyalty if you're interacting back and forth.
Real quick, Yusuf, because there's a few viewers right now. When you say organic, just 30 seconds. Organic, inorganic, what do you mean by that?
Organic basically means you're not paying in ads. You're not paying, let's say, Facebook advertising or Google ads to get the traffic. You're basically posting things, let's say, on a daily basis. In a long time. That's what I mean by organic, because it takes time. It's not something like you investing in ads. That's what I mean by organic. And organic things takes time. So you have to make that connection, right? Because I never see anything organic that, comes so fast. Does that make sense now? Does that make sense?
So you're talking about non-GMO ads. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Screw that GMO stuff. Yeah, stay away from the GMO. Yeah, stay away from the GMO. Very bad for you. Start, in your yard, maybe grow some tomatoes and...
You just got our video banned, brother. Thank you.
Maybe I should mention that one word so they can.
No.
Facebook and Twitter and YouTube going to ban us. I'm like, I wonder, I come to this country for that sort of, so-called freedom of expression and express your opinion. It's becoming like my back home country now. It's like I just left that place, and now you're becoming like different topic. Let's get back to the subject.
Let's go.
All right.
So we'll summarize again. So now we're talking about social media for small business owners. We talked about the importance of using social media. We summarized that there's a few platforms that are completely free to utilize. And you brought up some good statistics, like 4.5 billion people have mobile devices, 3.85 or 4 billion people use the internet. So a lot of our potential end clients, our potential customers, they're living not only on the mobile devices, they're using the web, they're using social media. So these are people that we could be targeting with our businesses and with our business ideas, etc., as clients who are in the realm that we should be operating in. So I guess you can take over from there.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and not just that. I mean, it's a very common question when businesses that don't know how social media work, and they ask me like, how can this benefit me? How can this help? So what I basically explained to them after defining it, the statistics now comes well, you can explain to them like this will help you to increase your brand recognition, your brand loyalty, right? It helps, it really gives you, if you really think about your customer, it gives you that opportunity to increase customer interaction. Because even some tech companies, for the past, I would say since 2008, there's so many good, well-known tech companies. When they take troubleshooting tickets, they don't do it over the phone. They do it through Twitter. They do it through Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's faster and it's quicker. Even insurance companies, they do that. Even insurance companies, they do that. Yes, I can share with you a story. One of my friend, a successful real estate investor here, Jonathan Barrera, a couple of years ago, he had an accident and it wasn't his fault. But the other insurance basically trying to game him, and you know how all insurance are. They never want to help you, right? And they were trying to charge him like $10,000-$15,000. And he complained and he called, nothing happened. You know what I told him? I said, dude, just go to Twitter of this, organization and on Facebook and tag them. And I'm going to jump and I'm going to put my comment too. I'm just going to say, what the heck, you company, how would you do this? Right? And I'm not kidding. He told me in a few days, all his problem got resolved. Right? Wow. Just by doing that. You know how back in the day you have to I'm going to call an attorney, right? Nowadays, I'm just going to tweet. Okay.
So, but okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying this is important because you're highlighting the power of social media. Right now, you just demonstrated how powerful this social media mechanism is, that companies would not normally respond to a phone call or email. But now because you're putting them on blast publicly, they're having to respond.
And not just that. I remember a prospect several years ago from California, when I started to close the deal with him, he was telling me that, you know what, I don't like social media because I have some frenemies or enemies, which is true. Somebody can give you bad reviews and comment. But what if an unhappy customer, go out there and leave a bad review? And I'm very busy taking care of my patient. I said, I understand your point, but let's do a quick exercise, right? So I basically turn my laptop towards him and I tell him, okay, what was your, because it was in San Diego, right? The clinic. So I put the name of his clinic, right, on Twitter, right? And you see all this conversation, like positive, happy customers, and negative. And I told him, look, you're not even responding to both. But you are losing some percentage of customers because they can see this. And the fact that you're not responding it, they think like you're rude, right? It was like, oh my God, yes. So you have it's like catch-22. You have to have it, you know what I mean? Because it's there. Even if you can manage it yourself, that's fine. That's why you have to have a team to help you on your behalf, train your internal team, or you just hire us, for example, we can take care of it from there, right? So when we talk about the opportunity that your customer going to have, also the interaction, you mentioned at the beginning how that is related to the website. Well, it does help. It does increase the incoming traffic that comes to your website from your social channels, because sometimes you do have to promote your business. And they can look at your account. They will look at your profile, the about section, and the content that you put. It is related back to your website. Do you see what I'm saying? And at the same time, you can analyze and look at your competitors, right, and see what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the cool thing is, you can engage with your customer quickly. And Google actually, there's something called social signals. Google don't want to talk about in detail. Google actually do pay attention about the so-called social signals, where the engagement happens between the customers on Facebook or Twitter and whatnot. And at the end of the day, you are going to build that authenticity, that trust, and that will bring the targeted audience, and eventually that will help you to generate leads. Make sense?
So we're using social media, we're using these free platforms, we're engaging with our clients, our customers. We're creating content of value out there. Then we're also promoting our services. But at the end of the day, this organic traffic is going to hopefully bring us more clients or customers.
Correct. That's a very good point. Now, the dilemma is, what are the social media platforms? And most people will think it's Facebook, but that's not it. Because blogging can be considered a social media platform because you're sharing content, you're engaging with the audience. Like Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, and whatnot. And even Twitter, technically, Twitter used to be called microblogging because short, sentence, right? But that's what it used to be called, right? Then you have social networking website, which is Facebook and LinkedIn and so forth. Then you have something called social bookmarking website, like Dig and Reddit and Delicious, right? Then you have something called social community websites, like Meetup, for example. Then you have photo social media sites like Flickr and Picasa and PhotoBucket and now Google Photo, and the video social site like YouTube and Vimeo and Dailymotion. Then you have review site that is considered social because Yelp, Google business page, is an interaction between different customers, right? Then you have educational social media sites like Wonder How To, eHow, Howcast. Then you also have a geolocation social media site. What are those? Foursquare, Swarm, Check-in. Then of course Wikipedia or WikiHow. These are all considered a social media type of platform.
Just to make that simple connection, when you brought up the blogging, just to connect it with one of our previous episodes, you did mention that things such as blogging, they help with off-page SEO. Is that correct?
It actually does two things. First, it helps with attracting your target audience and building that expertise level with you and the audience. It helps a search engine to basically index your blog material to their server because you have so much content. They're going to index it and they're going to show that result, bring the audience to the blog post. Now, you can also have part of the off-page SEO. You can write content somewhere else, and part two of that content, you can point it back to your blog post, and that's where the off-page happens.
Okay.
For example, let's say LinkedIn. It's a big example. LinkedIn is a high-authority site. LinkedIn has a feature where you can blog within LinkedIn itself, so your LinkedIn audience can see it. So let's say you're going to write an awesome article with images and how-to and everything, but the part two of that, when they read the content and to continue reading, click here, and that will take them to the part two of the content on your website, which is the part two blog post. That's actually a good technique. Makes sense? So yeah, it does really, if you do it strategically, it does help.
So something that some business owners and small business owners may be thinking right now is that utilizing social media seems either like a part-time or full-time job in itself. So what advice would you give to people who are feeling a bit overwhelmed, saying, okay, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Tumblr, there's blogging, there's microblogging, there's Foursquare, there's all these opportunities that you're mentioning, but it seems like they need to have somebody else just to run these things.
You're absolutely correct. It is a part-time or full-time job because you're talking about, researching, writing the content, responding, analyzing, do it on a monthly basis. I mean, an average social media manager spend 27, 30 hours a month minimum, and if you do that by yourself, I mean, you can, but again, it's best for you to either work on your business 100% and let somebody else do it. But if you want to do it by yourself, then it's up to you. My advice, if you want to be practical, my advice would be at least pick one. Just pick one and master it and utilize it. When you see your audience are asking, are you on Twitter? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on that? Then you have to utilize those based on the demand of your customers, right? But initially, it's going to be a little bit challenging because if you want to run everything by yourself. So my advice, my simple practical advice is if you can pick one and if you're comfortable with it, or let's say 2 or 3, then you can gather all I'm going to discuss in a few minutes about the ideas of the content, schedule the content, in one weekend and just observe, every week or every day how it's working. So you don't have to do it every single day. Makes sense? But you have to watch what's happening to the content because some content can be live, it happens at the right moment, and some it's like scheduled and organized. This is where the content calendar comes in. Okay? So that's what I would say. I mean, at least now you understand what social media is. There are different platforms. You know the statistics. You know the importance of it and how it's going to help you. In a few minutes today, we're gonna talk about strategies, right? We haven't got to that yet. But I also want to talk about how since 2018 and 2017, I would say in 2015, live streaming was the revolution in terms of how you can take social media to the next level, in the business to the next level, which is the live streaming, right? So the changes that happened from 2015 and 17 and 2018, I would say live streaming was still big, and it's still big even right now. The second change is right now, Facebook started to have their own TV program, just like YouTube and Amazon and Netflix. I don't know if you all know that. They have their own show. It's called Facebook Watch. And some of them are actually amazing, right? Some of the changes happen in Twitter. It used to be 148 or 45 characters, and now like 280 characters. Video is still highly valuable. That means you can produce videos on social channels. Due to like cyberbullying and other crappy thing that happens on social, a lot of people turn to the private messages. That's why one of the reasons Facebook invested in WhatsApp, right? Even though they have Facebook Messenger, because all the conversation now happening privately, right? One of the other changes that have been introduced to the social media is the chatbot. So I highly recommend you all need to check minichat.com and check out how chatbot can help you to get leads and whatnot at least through the Facebook platform. Then the listening tools, which are third-party tools that can help you analyze your own hashtag, your own conversation within your own brand of what your customer are saying about you, or looking at your competitors. Augmented reality, like that, what is it called? The Pokemon Go kind of stuff, right? So that's becoming big. That's improving. Face filter became very popular, and that's also like improving. And stories. So Instagram stories and Facebook stories, these are like the top changes that kind of happen throughout the years. You know what I mean? So the first thing for a beginner is, if you're a beginner, what you have to do, you have to ask these several questions. One of the questions would be, for example, do I have a social media presence, right? Because we talk about online presence, which is Google, but now we have to talk about social media presence, because your customer do go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they type your business name. Okay, so you need to make sure, are you available there, right? Then the second question will be, this is the question that you talked about, how many social media platforms can you manage? Of course, with all honesty, from a business point of view, I would say be everywhere, because all your customers are there. But that means it's going to cost, if you're an established company, then you can afford it. But if you're not, you have to pick one thing better than not having anything, right? And the thing is, if you're able to manage 2 or 3 or 4, go for it. Don't let other people that tell you, oh, you're going to do that and you're going to burn yourself. That doesn't matter. As I mentioned before, I have some clients that, this is going to contradict my statement, but they don't even utilize social media that much. They use ads, like Facebook ads, and they get all the leads just from the Facebook ads, right? But if you're a small business, you want to build a brand, you got to try everything, not just for the sake of everything, but to make sure that you, like you said, your video has been there for quite some time, that the digital footprint, right? So you can still get views, you can still be out there, okay? So make a decision, how many you can manage, and focus on 100% and master it, okay?
Real quick on that topic, so in terms of the social media platforms, what advice do you have for small business owners in regards to TikTok? Is TikTok something people should be embracing? Does it depend on what business you're in?
That is an excellent question. I haven't used TikTok yet, so I will do injustice if I say go for it or not. That's number one. But theoretically, because every social media platform that came, I mean, I utilized most of it. It's like, for example, when Periscope came out, I jumped into it quickly in 2015, but I did not promote that to my businesses except after like 6-7 months, because I was testing it to make sure if typical audience exists or not, right? It's very important. Even if you want to get into TikTok, you have to first make sure that does your audience exist. From my research, I found out that most of the people from TikTok, I think 75% out of USA, right? And because if you're a local business, you got to make sure that location matters to you, right? If you're in a real estate business, let's say most of your customers are 35 years old to 55, do those customers exist on TikTok? Am I targeting college student who wants to buy a home? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wouldn't jump in because somebody said you're going to jump in. Now, it's not a matter of right or wrong. If you want to jump in, okay, that's fine, but be strategic. What I mean by that, yes, maybe you can, like you said, when you did the YouTube thing a long time ago, it can become popular, right? Okay, let's just go there, put some amazing material for you, assuming your target audience. Then after that, what you do is a diversified. What I mean by that, you can take that TikTok video and put it on Facebook, or put it on your website, or you can use it and redistribute it on a different format. If you did the TikTok video, maybe you can make an infographic out of it. You see what I'm saying? But even if you do that, that's a lot of work again. So it depends, right? So I'm having my team to basically take some of my videos and just go to TikTok and post it there. But technically right now, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. That's why I'm not advising any customer yet, because if my clients in the medical field or attorneys, when I go to TikTok, the majority of the content are silly and stupid. Right. There were some few that I saw within my digital marketing. I did like a search for SEO for social media, and I found some really good one there. Some of them have there are a lot of views, but I don't see interaction. Right. And you have to wonder, like sometimes, for example, like I go to this specific Facebook, one of the awesome Facebook group on WordPress. It's WordPress Help and Share, and there's another one by WP Beginner, and it's a huge community. And there's a lot of folks also from overseas. So when I spend time there answering, questioning, helping them, they are not my customer because they cannot afford me. You know what I mean? But I'm still doing because I want to help. Make sense? Or maybe I can hire them too. You know what I mean? I can do other stuff, not necessarily but I'm doing because I want to do it. But if somebody asks me as a consultant for a business, I'm gonna say no, that place doesn't have your audience, so you don't want to waste your time there. Make sense? Yep. So remember, in the beginning of the first video, we talked about target audience, their location, their age, all these matter. Correct. So if you're going to target them, then you are basically strategically investing your time and money wisely. Correct. You know what I mean? So that was an excellent question. So I hope everybody got that answer. Sure. Okay. Now, we talked about do you have a social media presence? We talked about how many social media channels do you want to manage, and why do you want to manage one or several social media sites? You have to ask that question, like, why do I want to manage Facebook? Why do I want to manage Snapchat or Instagram? If you don't have the answer for it, then why are you jumping in? Correct. So you need to find the correct answer, like why I'm doing this, right? Are my customer there? Is my competitor using it? How they're using it? How can I make an announcement and bring them come to my facility or my clinic or my office, and how can I win them? So you have to have all this plan in your head, right? Then you have to ask, is my social media profile optimized? When I say optimized, do they have all the same logos, same banners, same consistent messages in terms of content and tips and how-to and customer support and whatnot? It all has to be same, and it all has to reflect your website. The design, the color of the website, the theme of the website, it all has to be consistent, because your customers, when they go to Google or social media and look up for you, you got to be consistent. That also means not just from an image point of view or a content point of view or even the theme point of view, but also the link, the technical stuff. If your website is, digital partners leading or leader, then that means your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your LinkedIn has to say the exact same name. What do you fall into if you're not consistent with the colors, with the links, with the terminology? Well, I mean, it's not going to be super bad, but your customer going to be a little bit confused. Confused, right? Just a little bit. Like it's like one of those, like a sudden, like on the back of their head. I'm like, you're like, oh, is this the right place? You can psychologically even feel it. It doesn't seem like the same. Correct. You know what I mean? So that's why consistency is very good. I mean, again, even if you don't do it, that doesn't mean you're going to be in trouble. But it's good to have it. Makes sense, because there are some businesses that I saw completely different, but they're doing very good because they have a loyal followers, and the loyal followers don't care. But this is for the beginners. If you want to be like consistent, it's going to help you in so many ways, because as soon they see your logo, your message, your site, it's all similar in terms of the theme and the color and whatnot. Makes sense? So you got to make sure that the profile all the same, the information about the company, the links, all consistent. Okay. Then now you're going to have to come with the plan is, what does the content mean to you and to your target audience? Like, what does it mean? How can this so-called content will help them, right? And how can I earn their business? How can I earn their trust? Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to come with the plan, how many times I'm going to post and what kind of content I'm going to post. Is it going to be like a behind the scene? Is it going to be frequently asked questions? Is it going to be like, tips of the day? Is it going to be showing how the staff and the employee are happy and doing behind, some other cool stuff? A content that can be highly impactful and beneficial to your target audience. And that can be in many ways. It can make them happy, they can learn something new and apply it, and they improve. You know what I mean? So you have to think, when it comes to content, you have to think from the perspective of, if my customer are facing some challenges, what can I do for them to improve their situation? Or how can I solve the problems that they're facing?
So in terms of the content, I mean, obviously you're saying that it depends. I mean, obviously it depends what business you're in and if it's going to be behind the scene versus tip of the day. But one thing that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these platforms, they suggest like different best times that you should be posting. Now, these are general recommendations. So should someone utilize these general recommendations? Should they try to do their own research and figure out when their clients or their end users are on the internet? Like, what do you have to say about that in terms of when to post?
That's an excellent question. What is going to tell you about the best time is your analytics.
Okay.
So, and that type of recommendation is flawed, because if I have customers in US and UK, it's not the same time frame.
Right.
So if I only post at 9 a.m., that doesn't mean they're going to see it in UK at 9 a.m. Does that make sense? So the information that they gave is not excuse me, is not 100% inaccurate. They give those information based on case studies, based on particular customers, particular clients, particular niche. That's how they gather the data. So there's some truth into that statement. But I wouldn't rely on them 100%. What I would tell my clients, okay, let's say you're a beginner, start just like, let's say 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., right? Just start in the morning. If you're going to post once a day, start around that time. Then once you build enough audience, then go back to analytics and check and see, because especially the Facebook analytics will tell you around what time on your Facebook business page, around what time there's more activity of your audience that they can see the post. Cool. Then it will tell you what days they're active, more versus not. Then it will tell you what kind of content brought more engagement. So based on those data, you go back and re-strategize. And I did this with my medical client, where they used, first when I came to the company to consult and provide the service for them, they used to post like 2-3 times or twice a week. That's it. So what we did, we basically did daily, like I'm talking about 30 days straight, to see exactly what's happening. We noticed in the weekend that nobody checked, nobody even looked at the post. Okay, the busiest time is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so we had a strategy to stop posting on the weekend, but continue from Monday to Friday. Okay, and we noticed around 12 and 3, it's most of the time where the viewership happens. So now we posted like around 12 or 3. That's it. And that increased the engagement. You see what I'm saying? And we post images more, then videos, then external links or blog. We did this after just kind of coming up with a plan, then see what works and focus on that. So that's why you have to rely on your analytics to tell you what's the best time for you and what best day and what kind of content you need to post.
Okay, so we talked about the platforms, we talked about analytics, we talked about even some types of content, whether it's behind the scenes or a tip of the day. So what else do you got for us in terms of social media? Well,
we can talk about how many times you want to post the content. My recommendation is, depends on the platform. If it's a video, maybe minimum once a week. If it's a live streaming, a couple of times a week. If it's a Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, try daily. Okay, then they look at the analytics and see what works, what doesn't work. I have some clients that only post like twice a week, and they do very good because that's what the analytics showed, right? So they don't have to worry about the other days, okay? Now, so we understood what is social media. We talked about the importance of it, right? And the reason how it can help you. Let's talk about what are the so-called the principal strategies. So the principal strategy in social media is, first and foremost, is that you have to provide valuable, fresh content on a consistent basis that answers the challenges and the needs of your customer. You're not just putting content for the sake of content. You're putting it to educate them. You're putting it to help them. Let's say if you're in the health business, if you're in the yoga business, everything you put it for improvement, like improving your customer and educating them. Like if you're a car dealer, you're gonna do the same thing about why checking the oil, changing this is healthy for your car, right? Something beneficial, something educational. Make sense? But you gotta make sure that you can post educational, fun content, like maybe 70% that and 30% promotion. Okay, So always think of that and try to be authentic in a sense that you don't want to put the content like somebody from a PR company wrote it. Just like how you speak and you talk to your customer, write it like that. Because the way the social media algorithm works, their algorithm, unlike the search engine, they look for something called engagement. So what is engagement? Like, liking, sharing, and commenting. So if your objective is that, of course, you want to win customers, but if you put some content that can build your authenticity, that can build relevancy with your audience, that can build trust, right, and engagement. So the more engagement, the better. You know what I mean? And try to make it interactive. Then once you do that, focus on nurturing your relationship with your audience, because it will take some time for them to end up buying from you. And don't forget to always monitor, measure, and track your progress. Okay, so that's in a nutshell what we mean by when it comes to what you call it, the social media marketing strategy principle.
What's crazy is that there's some people I follow online in terms of different fields. So, for example, in the health field, in the rehab field, physical therapy, and you'll find people who make excellent videos. I mean, the research is there, the delivery is there, but you find the viewership isn't there. So what type of advice do you have for someone now who's out there? They're producing, like you said, a video once or twice a week. They're creating posts that are beneficial. They're not selling very hard, but for whatever reason, it's not gaining traction.
That's an excellent question. That's why you need to invest in ads. And because when you do things organically, you're not going to get fast results. I mean, think about it from a realistic point of view. You have millions of followers. Your followers have 200, 300 followers.
Right.
So if you're putting your own content, somebody like you also put in the content. Just like when you send mails, like a junk mail, right? So understand that it is necessary anyway because to build an awareness, to build a brand organically, just like, planting an apple. If you put the apple seed, I think it will take like 11 years for the tree to grow and the apple comes out. So the organic things, whether it's an SEO or social media, it is not for a fast result. It's actually for the long term. You're looking at the future. 2 years from now, what I'm going to reach. A lot of YouTube so-called influencers and celebrity, if you know the back end story, most of them started like way back several years ago. I mean, look at Gary, for example. He started way back in 2009, right? I remember when he used to sit in a table and the staff goes in front of him left and right, and it was like so crappy. And I think he probably has some there. And he was very consistent.
I started in 2008.
Yeah, but he was very consistent. Uma Film started in 2006, right?
Yeah.
But he was very consistent. And look, now it's like the tipping point. Like you do, and it will happen. So understand that organic thing, it will be slow. It will take some time. You got to be consistent, but the ad's going to help you. Now, here's another thing, for example, in Facebook, why too many people don't see the post. There could be many reasons. First reason, it could be because when you set up the Facebook page, you did not set the location to the United States. Maybe it was for worldwide, number one. Number two, the audience that join your Facebook page, possibly they're not your target audience. They could be your friends and family. That doesn't mean they're going to buy from you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Number three, only 2 to 1% of the followers going to see your post.
Correct.
Because in the newsfeed, everything just keeps going down. But if you use Facebook boost a post for a like page, then everybody from that page will see it. So you can do like once a week, maybe put like $5 to $10 in one day and see what happens, right? But that should not discourage you. I'm a best example. Look, I've been doing this, golly, man. I mean, I've been online for like forever, but in 2002, then 2006, right? I mean, I've been doing a long time. Even in my business, didn't pick it up like really, really good. It was in 2013. But I started like around 2006 as a hobby, right? Then as a business. Then, especially in 2008, I took it seriously. But when I started to make like a full-time money, it was 2013 when I got to let go from my work. That's when I was like, okay, I'm now making enough to survive. Does that make sense? It took me a long time, right? So that's just the nature of the business. Don't let it discourage you, because there are other alternatives, other ways to help you. But trying to be consistent, and that's why it's best to schedule it. Or once you post that video, you got a few views, no problem.
Sure.
download it and I'll upload it to YouTube, repurpose it, turn it into infographic, turn it into a blog post, take the video, put it on the website, have a transcript. I mean, you can do so much just from that one thing. And you can post it again later on. It doesn't have to be just posted once and you forget. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So some of the ideas on how to put content out there or how to increase engagement, if you want people to engage with you, you can use something like a fill in the blank post. You make a statement and you ask the audience, fill in the blank. People like to interact. They like to engage. Photo caption. If you have like a funny video of yourself falling or something, caption this video. Okay, or caption this. Caption this.
That a lot.
Yeah. It always works, man. True or false statement. You can talk about that. You can share companies' recent news updates. If you practice any kind of holidays, you can share those. If you have an event like we do this nowadays, we can share about the event, about the live streaming, right? You can ask a popular question about your own business, your own niche, your own service, and see what kind of response you get from the audience. You can use quotes, whether it's motivational, whether it's something about the business. You can share like interesting facts, do surveys, or use meme, right? Memes, business announcement, live streaming, YouTube videos. I mean, these are some of the ideas. I hope you write it down because you can definitely utilize them, right? You can also use like third-party tools like postplanner.com, or there's another one somebody on Tuesday mentioned to me. I think it's called Post. Is it Post Deck? Let's see, what is it? Yeah, Post Deck is another tool that can help you find some content and kind of post within your social channels, or Post Planner. Okay, you can also look into Post Planner. But it's not free. Post Planner, what it does, it looks for content within Facebook and Twitter within your niche. That's a popular content within yoga, and you can schedule it. So it's like more like a research tool. Okay, if you don't have enough ideas, my suggestion always is to go to Answer the Public. Use all those questions for you to put the content out there, because that's what your customer looking for. You know what I mean? So one of the ways really to increase engagement and to build your brand and your personality, it's the live streaming. I've been talking about this since 2015, and now everyone is live streaming through Zoom. We'll see what's going to happen after, right? So live streaming is very good, because with live streaming, it helps you with building that authenticity off the bat, because people can see how you talk. They can ask you a question real time, and you can ask the audience to share this. There's more engagement actually on the live streaming. So I highly recommend for businesses to utilize live streaming channels.
So I mean, today we covered a lot. Then we covered what is social media, the benefits of social media around the world, how many people are using the internet, have mobile devices, are on social media networks. We talked a little bit about the different social media networks and their use. We talked about what type of content to create and post on the different networks. We talked about analytics and how analytics can inform when you should be posting, what you should be posting. We talked about how to make the social media activity and your website, the brands consistent, the linking consistent. But I think one thing that you talked about, which is very important, is being authentic. So for a lot of the small business owners that have not adopted social media yet, I would say don't get paralysis by analysis. Don't think about it too much. Just start producing content, right? Whether that be post, whether that be live video, recorded video, etc. And as Yusuf mentioned, don't start soliciting people right away, even though that may work for you. Start creating content that has value, that has benefit, and that calls for engagement. So that way your clients, your customers, your subscribers, they're engaging with the content, and then you can push or recommend your services.
Yeah, absolutely. Like nowadays, for example, when the situation, when the COVID thing happened, one of the things that I'm glad that not all of it, but some of the local businesses, what they did, they utilized the social media to let the audience, the customer know. For example, we're open, we're here for pickup, we're here for different things, so we keep that communication back and forth. You know what I mean? Make a new announcement, new service, and you can definitely do that with the social, because the social, in a way, it is powerful because you can use it for good and bad. You know what I mean? You can manipulate. And I said this a long time ago. People used to tell me like, oh, there's no way for the government to control social media. Yes, they do. And they're doing it. Okay. In a mass way. You know what I mean? One of the reasons that the Periscope, the founders basically created Periscope, live streaming social media app. It's just for the during the Arab Spring. Remember when the revolution was happening in some part of the world? They wanted people to live stream what's happening so it can be shown in real time. You know what I mean? That was the whole idea behind it. To basically, just grab on the go without just, taking the picture and manipulating it or changing it. But now you can have like an actual live thing going on. That was the whole reason behind it. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to the strategy, if you understand, that the content that you're going to put, you have to build that authenticity and win them in, and they're going to buy from you, right? But figure out what kind of content that your customer likes. So that's why I recommend answerthepublic.com, because you can find all these questions, all this information, and you can use those sort of information. Like in your business, in our business, we share a lot of tips, a lot of resources about the latest and the greatest on how to help businesses increase more sale or more customers. And that's what the customers are attracted to, right? When it comes to keto diet, for example, right? People are interested in what kind of food I can prepare, right? What kind of food I can eat, what kind of exercise I'm going to do, something that they're interested in. Why do you think people that listen to, let's say, all these popular podcasts, because their audience are hungry. They want to, dude, I mean, I watch podcasts for like 3 hours straight. I don't even get tired, okay? Because I'm so into it. Like, I want to listen. I'm paying attention to it. Yes, so if you bring those kind of audience, that's how you're going to build. Make sense? So do the research, come with the plan, schedule the content, and watch it and track it and analyze it. And that's in a simple format, that's what I would go for.
So I think, Yusuf, that's a good place to conclude. We covered a lot of different topics. And just a reminder to the folks watching that we're going to be live every Sunday. And this is part of an ongoing series on how to create a web page that converts. So this was, I think, part 4. We'll have part 5 next Sunday at 4 p.m. Central. Please tune in. Do like and subscribe the channel. And we'll see you guys next week. Yusuf?
As always, take care and take charge. Take action.
I like it. See you next week, Yusuf.
Take care. Bye-bye.